In this video, we'll show you how to complete a standard under the self-study. You'll see we are under the self-study tab in AAMS. You can only see this tab if you've been given the appropriate permissions by your school administrator. Self-study read means you can look at the self-study and the content, but you cannot make any changes. Self-study write access allows you to edit the self-study. If you look below, you'll see under the various standards is a status indicator. Not started means no one has gone in yet to make any changes to that standard. In progress means someone has made a change, either through text or uploading a document. And completed means someone has gone into that standard and marked it as complete. On the right-hand side, you'll see a column for school and ACPE. This will populate with the compliance status as chosen by your school or the ACPE final decision. If you click View Key, a legend will generate for compliance status. When we scroll down, we'll see that we chose Compliant for this particular standard. Eventually, after you submit your self-study and ACPE makes their final board decision, that will populate on the right-hand side. However, you can only see this if you have the compliance status permission. If you don't see ACPE's final board decision, that's because your school administrator has not given you that permission. Above, you'll also see a Print PDF button. This will generate a PDF of your entire self-study. You'll be able to print this or save it to your computer. Keep in mind that this will take a little bit of time to load because it will load all the content of the self-study. If you have the faculty profiles permission, you'll also see the faculty profiles link here. This will allow you to administer or look at and edit the faculty profiles. However, if you do not have this permission, you cannot see this button. Please look at the faculty profiles video to see how this function works. Now, if we scroll down and click on a standard, you'll notice that the system will take a little bit of time to load the standard you chose. This is because of the various amount of data and information under each of the standards. In particular, if a standard has a lot of data views, tables, or graphs, and if someone else has done a lot of work in that standard, this standard will take some time to load. So, after you click on a standard, please be patient. You'll see we are under Standard 19, Faculty and Staff, Qualitative Factors. On the top, you'll see a Save Changes button. This will save any changes you made to that standard. In addition, you'll see the Mark Standard Complete button. This was the feature I was discussing before. When you click this button, it will mark the standard as complete and you'll see it on your main page of the self-study. Keep in mind, however, that this is only for your personal reference. You can always go back and make changes to any standard, even if you've marked it as complete. You'll need to mark each standard as complete before you can submit. So please do so after you've finalized all changes in that standard. You'll notice we have a second Save Changes button up here. This button will actually follow you no matter where you go in the standard. This allows you to save changes even if you are in the middle of the page, so you do not have to scroll all the way up or all the way down to save changes. It doesn't matter which button you click, both will do the same thing. Now you'll see there's also a View Key Elements button. If you click on it, it will toggle the key elements for your reference for that standard. You'll see them here. And to hide them, you would just click this button again. The first section we see is Documentation and Data. This is where you will upload required documentation for that standard. You can look at the Documents training video to see how this function works. Now, the next section is Data Views and Standardized Tables. This will populate with all the data views required for that standard. We are under the first table, Distribution of Full-Time Pharmacy Faculty by Rank, Gender, and Race Ethnicity. This table pulls data from the faculty profiles. Under each data view or table, you'll see an optional comments box. You can make text edits here for optional commentary for that particular table. On the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a character count. As you type into this box, you'll see that the number changes. And you'll see the maximum character allowance for that comment box as indicated by ACPE, so you'll always know if you're approaching the maximum amount. Now, below, you'll see a brand new feature in AAMS, which is our versioning feature. You'll see all the versions as edited by other members of your self-study team. And when you click on a version, the system will generate a preview so you can look at what that version looked like. Here, you'll see I made an edit on 225. It will be version blank, edited by the name of that person on a date and time, so you'll be able to keep track of all changes made to all comment boxes in the standards. I'm going to click close, and if you want to restore that version, just hit restore. Now you'll see that the comment box has been restored with my text from that change. This means that no matter what changes are made in the system, you will not lose any work. You can always restore to a prior version. Also remember that each individual comment box has its own versioning system. So if I restore this version for this comment box, all the other comment boxes will remain unchanged. Now, you'll also notice under this section, the curriculum quality survey data will also populate. If you have no data, that system will tell you so. As you can see, there are a lot of data views under this section, which is why it took a little bit of time to load. The next section we see is optional documentation data. This functions the same way as the prior section, in which you can upload any documents you need, but this is the optional documents for that standard. So if your institution has more documents it would like to upload, it would do so here. The next section is your college or school self-assessment. You can make changes under the various radio buttons here, but if you make a mistake, you can always click this button to clear the selections you've made for this section. The next section is your college or school of pharmacy's comments on the standard. You'll see the text as required for the comments, as well as checkboxes by the different components. These checkboxes are more for your personal reference. As you write the text, you can click and make sure that you've chosen or addressed this component. Functionally, however, it doesn't do anything. It's more for your reference as you go through and make the changes in the comment box here. You'll see again that the character count will change and adapt as you input more text. It will not allow you to go above the maximum. And of course, this also has a version system, so you can see all the versions as edited by your other staff members. Below, you'll see the college or school's final self-evaluation selection. These are the compliance statuses that will eventually populate into the self-study page. If you would like to clear this selection, just click the clear button. The last section is recommended monitoring. It's also a comment box and again has its own versioning system. Now, after this, you'll click Save Changes. And of course, if you've made all finalized edits to that standard, you would click Mark Standard Complete instead. Now, that is how you complete a standard under the self-study.